Now, last night, Prime Minister Netanyahu pledged to continue the war against Hamas until absolute victory is achieved over the terror group. Well, tonight, that stance is getting support from a demonstration of IDF reservists in Jerusalem, and our Middle East correspondent Ariel Oseran is there. What are you hearing from the demonstrators there, Ariel?
Right, Calev, quite a few good thousand people here attending in this protest here on Government Hill in Jerusalem, reiterating that call exactly, that Israel, that the people here demand decisive victory, and that should be Israel's top priority. You asked what the people here think, so I'm joined here by Stu Friedman. He is here. So, Stu, what brought you to this protest here today, 125 days into the war in Gaza?
Well, we're here to pressure the government to stay the course, not to give in, not to surrender, not to make deals, fight this to the end, because if we don't fight this to the end, we'll be fighting this forever. We don't want to endanger our soldiers and our citizens, regular citizens, going forward like we did with the Gilad Shalit deal. We don't want that. We are sympathetic towards the situation of the hostages. It's horrible, but we have to finish this war first, not end it prematurely. Believe me, I'm a father of a reservist soldier who has fought from day one in Gaza and in Sderot and so forth at great risk. And we've lost a lot of people. Thank God he's still with us. But they cannot have died in vain if we cut this short. We have to pressure our government to put the pressure and resist against the American administration. They've helped us, but they're also shackling us in many regards, and we have to be very strong about this.
Let me ask. Some might say that this is a counter-protest to the protest at Hostage Square, or let me put it this way: the families of the hostages are saying we need to topple Hamas. That is a top priority. That can be done tomorrow, next week, next month. But the time of the hostages is running down, and they need to be brought back home now. What do you say to that?
Well, I don't radically disagree with that. It might be seen as a counterbalance protest, but although I don't like to view it through the lens of division, but so we have similar goals. It's just that obviously they're putting the hostages first and the war effort second, whereas we are switching that. And I should point out there are families of hostages right here with us today who believe in the priority that I've just set out. Win the war first, because we believe the best way to save the hostages is to exert enormous military pressure on Hamas and teach them once and for all that stealing our people and kidnapping them and torturing them is not going to pay off, because if we give in now, it's just going to happen again down the road, just like what happened with Sinwar when he was released for Gilad Shalit.
Stu Friedman, thank you very much for your time.
And I-24, watch it all the time. Great channel.
Thank you. So, Calev, as you can hear, a complex narrative presented by Israeli society. You have two protests happening, not at the same time, but two protest movements, both saying the same thing. We need to bring back the hostages. We need to defeat Hamas. But the debate is what needs to be prioritized first. And what we're hearing here is that it's the war effort needs to be prioritized first. And any deal that would lead to stopping the fighting, that will hurt that objective.
Ariel, are there any political figures there, government figures? Who are there? We're hearing a speaker in the background. Who are the speakers there?
So the speakers are mainly reservists from civil society organizations, also different rabbis, religious leaders, because as you can see, the majority of attendance here are on the religious, perhaps even on most of them voted for this coalition. But at the end of the day, it is very important for many of them to say this is not an issue of right or left. This is an issue, and it's not an issue of the defeating Hamas or the hostages. But if one thing needs to be prioritized first, they're saying it's defeating Hamas rather than reaching a deal that would see the stop of the war, even if it does bring back the hostages.
All right, and as you said, this is a difficult issue, not necessarily in contradiction to those demonstrations by the hostage families or those for a hostage deal, but there is a tactical difference. The strategic goal may be the same, freeing the hostages, defeating Hamas, but the timetable is somewhat different. Ariel Oseran, thank you for that.